Ice Cube. Starting July 10th on CBS, Thriller, and Fight TV. That's right, every Saturday. Bring the fire with the big three, baby. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of our favorite artists came out of we see them working, and we seen them kind of giving their all to the craft, and years later realizing they really didn't recoup as much financially as we would have thought of. Mm-hmm. And mainly because of the industry and this machine that we've realized that what it is. Talk about that, the industry in itself, and how you felt about it from the outside looking in and within.
It all lies within the paperwork, right? It's just the bit, like, you just got to make sure, your business is correct. It's, I know, speaking on my situation, it was really nothing that I did wrong. When I wrote "I'll Be Missing You" for Puff, mm-hmm. and, it won the Grammy and all that. What happened was he did bad business with Sting, meaning that before he got clearance to use the record, he put the record out. So Sting came back and like, okay, well, since you used the record before you got clearance, I want all the publishing off the record.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So, and at the end of the day, shit, Puff didn't care because he was making the money off the physical sales.
Right.
So if he had a single release and the album, so he ate a few times off of that record. You know what I mean? So it didn't really matter to him. He was just really trying to capitalize off of the momentum of the situation, right? But the people that actually did the work, and I think I may have been the only writer on there that, has intellectual property, and so I missed out on about $4 million.
I was going to ask you that, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, I'll be miss you. Didn't you say somebody else was supposed to write that before you did?
Yeah, it was Puff came to Jay to write it.
Okay.
And he for whatever reason that didn't happen. And he brought it to my attention, and that's how that came about. Now, was originally supposed to write it.
Now, did you ever like hit Puff up and try to negotiate? Like, since you wrote the song and you can't get the publishing, did you try to get something off the hard copies? Did he ever break you off, or just kind of left?
Yeah, I had a publishing deal with Universal, and they brought a lawsuit against him as well. But I had met up with Puff, and we did something as far as the publishing deal that I had. So, which is why I never really went at Puff, because, we figured something out on that end. You know what I mean? But as far as like future residuals, and, it's a hell of a lick to miss.
Yeah, man, $4 million.
And, that song generates about $730,000 a year. So
no way. Wow.
Still, so you figure 10% of that is 73,000, 20% is 146, and you multiply that by what, 24, 25?
Yeah.
So so if I had a problem with him, you could understand.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But you didn't have a problem, and then you wait 20 years before saying something, and then you come out and realize that people are kind of blocking you from doing certain things, making certain moves, making certain amounts of money.
Right. So that was the problem for me. Like, I ate that situation. I never really said nothing, and then to find out that y'all make it, and this is without provocation. I didn't have an issue with him. I've seen him after that. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't really know what your problem is, why you feel a need to, you know what I'm saying?
Take us through the how did, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna say this, because you And do you end off on good terms with Jay-Z, Puff, and everybody, and then there's some time in between, and then you realize you're blackballed? Like, what happened in between?
Right. Yeah, I mean, everything was, see, there's a lot of different moving parts behind the scene that people don't really understand. So, me and Jay, there's always been a little funny style shit.
Okay.
But not enough to bring it to the surface at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Puff, like I said, I accepted the situation, when we did business on the publishing with the publishing deal. I left it at that. So, I didn't carry any malice toward him at that. So, there was a situation with Drink Champs that they, somebody was, asking me to do Drink Champs, and I don't really do a lot of interviews, and at the time I really wasn't in that space to do it. And then a couple of months later, I finally agreed to do it. And then, what came down the pipe was, you've been, I don't know what's going on, but you've been, you can't come up here. You've been blacklisted. So I reached out to some people trying to get some clarity, because at the end of the day, nobody really wants a problem with anybody. I definitely don't want to have a problem with a nigga that got $1 billion.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So when I couldn't get the conversation that I was looking for, I tried a couple of different channels, and I tried to go through Flex, just to get up there to to speak some truth. It was difficult. It was just a weird situation on what I needed to do to make that happen. And his Puff influence is his hand is strong, so when nobody wanted to talk, I'm like, all right, well then just fuck it. Like, let's just go, man. Like, this is what it is, right? We can't get clarity as men. Then, we'll do something different.
So you kind of left that situation and just let it be, I guess. And just moved on with your life, it seems like.
Well, I haven't left it, but it's hard to carry that kind of anger with you, because it affects you negatively.
Yes.
But no, I haven't left it, not at all. I'm not through with it by a long shot. But if there's a resolution that we can come to, I'm open for resolution. Is too. Like I said, I don't want problems with people. You know what I'm saying? I want to see people do well and prosper, but not at my expense, and then not behind the scenes. You doing some wicked shit. Like, that's not without provocation. I don't agree with that. You can't practice black excellence. You can't preach black excellence in front of the camera, but behind the camera, you live your life as a contradiction to that.